Hello and welcome back to War Thunder and welcome to the tank review of the FlakPanzer 1 Gepard. Now I already did a tank review on the Gepard, but it is the other Gepard in the German AAA line. It's that rank 1 battle rating 2.0 monstrosity of a actual tank destroyer. And that brings us to the topic. Is this vehicle good? Yes, it is, but basically it's described as a nerfed Kugelblitz, and I will go into detail why I say that. And it will be a bit controversial, but stay with me. So just let me finish this tank review and let me show you the footage so that you can make your own proper opinions on this tank based on the video, and also give me time to actually make all the arguments. So, the FlakPanzer 1 Gepard is the latest addition to the German AAA line. It's a rank 5 battle rating 8.0 AAA. It features two 35mm Oerlikon KDA cannons with an ammunition count of 680. It is belt fed, and it is a single belt for each of the guns, and this is actually an advantage that this vehicle does have over the Falcon and the Kugelblitz, that the guns don't seem to overheat. So they don't have an uncontrolled spread. I just tested it out in a test drive. I shot through the entirety of the ammunition, which doesn't take long, which is a drawback. And they never got increased in accuracy, so that's good. Also, the capabilities against aircraft, even with the stock belts, are really good. Yeah, so I think let's make a proper tank review out of this, and you also will find kind of a AAA guide how to make this vehicle series work. I give you a few tips and tricks, and I have the perfect gameplay to showcase it. And I also will talk a little bit about what's wrong with certain vehicle branches in the game. So, the X-ray not the X-ray. Let's begin with the armor review. And, well, yeah, Leopard chassis, even less armor on the front, like not even half of it. And also the big flat turret. Yeah, not a lot of armor. At least it's not open top, so you might survive aircraft shells. But if somebody really wants you with high caliber shells from aircraft, or when he has loaded dedicated armor piercing rounds, he will shred you. Which is a problem because you just have 3 crew members, and you have there is actually no place in the tank where you can actually shoot through. You have the driver here, you have the gunner here, together with the commander in the turret. So a turret hit will kill this tank, most likely. Then we have this big horizontal aiming drive. I haven't seen such a big horizontal aiming drive at all in any tank that I can think of. Then we have those big belts. And yes, they count as proper ammunition, and they can explode and will explode. Then we also have this rather big engine together with the radiators and the fuel tanks to each side together with the transmission. So, but I think that's not the important part. A AAA is not a tank versus tank vehicle. It focuses on destroying aircraft, which sounds obvious, and it should be, but a lot of people do really misplay their AAA tanks. So this is why I actually also will provide you with kind of a guide at the middle to end stage of the game. Not the game, the video. Let's talk a little bit about the guns. We have two 35mm Oerlikon KDA cannons with 680 rounds of ammunition. And, well, we also have just 5 degrees of gun depression, but 85 degrees of gun elevation. We have a really fast turret rotation speed at even stock of 69.2 degrees in arcade. In realistic, it is obviously... Oh, it's the same. That's surprising. Okay, normally the turret rotation speeds are a bit slower in realistic, so good to know. Then we have a relatively high rate of fire of 550 rounds per minute, so that's faster than the Kugelblitz. The reload rate for the belts when you are in the cap circle is nearly 1 minute, 53 seconds. That's a long time. Yeah, then we also have, right from the start, a rather good horsepower to ton ratio in arcade of over 20, and in, yeah, like half of that, it's a bit more. I'm too stupid to calculate. It's more like nearly 30 in arcade, or 25. You know, it's good. It will move. But again, like the Leopard, when it's stock, it's kind of clumsy, it's kind of slow, sluggish, and it doesn't accelerate too quickly, but it will actually move from place to place. And I want to really compare it to the Kugelblitz, because the really fun part lies within the ammunition. So let's have a look. And yes, I haven't researched too much on this tank, but it doesn't matter, because the all the mobility upgrades are not that important for the playstyle. You know, parts, fire prevention system, and crew replenishment, we all know those things. All those will increase the accuracy of the gun. Well, I will talk a little bit about this. But let's talk about the ammunition. The stock belts are relatively similar to the Kugelblitz. We feature 68 millimeters of penetration for the armor-piercing incendiary shells instead of 60 for the Kugelblitz's stock shell. Then the first belt you can upgrade to, and there is the big difference. This belt right here also features 68 millimeters, and the Kugelblitz's first belt actually features 95. Yeah. And then we also come to this belt, which we also will see on the FlakPanzer Gepard as the third belt or second belt to research. Again, just 68 with the same composition of shells. But I have to say, on the Kugelblitz you have Minengeschosse for the high explosive shells, whereas here you just have high explosive incendiary tracer shelf destroying shells. So everybody who wants his airburst rounds, there you go. But you know, they are useless when they you will not make it work, because they have a set distances, and yeah, that's it. Then we also come to the tier 4 upgrade belt, and there it is where I'm kind of disappointed, but I kind of expected it also. This is where, you know, this tank is pretty much similar to the British Falcon. And, you know, we can see that we have a penetration of 112 millimeters. And this is supposed to be the armor-piercing belt. Now let's have a quick look at the Kugelblitz's armor-piercing belt. And we can see that the last upgrade features 3 HWAP shells and 1 high-explosive tracer shell, which is a Minengeschoss. That means you have 3 out of 4 shells that have the highest penetration for the belt. And in this respect, when you see anything that is not well armored enough, you will literally shred it apart with the Kugelblitz. There is nothing that can withstand the wrath of a Kugelblitz when it carries the name ZSU 37 or 52, it doesn't, 57, it doesn't matter. You could shred an entire battalion of those things within seconds, I guess. Now, granted, you can do that as well with the FlakPanzer Gepard, but it takes longer if you rely on the highest penetration shell. Because let's have a look how the belt consists. And we have 8 mentioned shells, of which 5 are armor-piercing incendiary. Remember, those are the shells with 68 millimeters of penetration. We have also 2 shells which are high explosive, and just 1 HWAP tracer shell. That means for less ammunition with a bit more rate of fire, you have a very long research way until you get to this belt, and then 1 out of 8 shells is capable of destroying the Soviet forces tanks. Okay, remember that, the Soviet forces. because you need to exceed at least 80 millimeters of armor to take on the T-54s and T-62 tanks from the side. So this is where this tank actually shows you that he is not intended at all to take on enemy tanks. It's kind of the same as with the British, where is it? There it is, the Falcon. And we can see it's really similar to the Gepard, but here we have 1 out of 4. I think they have changed that. Yeah, and that's actually an APDS shell. At least it says it in the name. You have 2 millimeters more penetration than the Falcon does have. So, yeah. And I think, you know, this shows you that you should use this vehicle just in the anti-aircraft role. Now, how does it perform in the anti-aircraft role? Well, again, technically it's worse than the Kugelblitz, but in practice it feels stronger. Now, why is that? Well, I guess it's the higher rate of fire of 100 rounds per minute more than the Kugelblitz. And as funny as it sounds, the inaccuracy of the guns help it a little bit. Because in arcade you have this lead indicator, and you should follow it relatively exactly. But you have a healthy amount of spread, and a few hits with the guns, even with the stock belts, are usually enough to take down even big bombers like B-24s or B-17s. It's not a wonder weapon, so don't think you can just unleash a short burst in the general direction of the target and it will go down. No. You have to work, precisely. And I think at this point we should stop, talking here in this hangar, and let's hop into some arcade gameplay. And stay with me, it will all make sense, because now we come to the, so to speak, AAA guide. How to do what. Now at first I will show you a rather short sequence of something that I wanted to really show you. How to prepare. Now here we are at on White Rock Fortress, and when you have ever wondered why there are so many dips and extremely steep ridge lines, I think they are made for AAA vehicles. And I knock over those trees to get a perfect, shooting line. I can now cover basically every approach, every possible angle an enemy plane will come from, and I have chosen to support the side of the map where the majority of my team is, for the simple reason as it is most likely that if the enemy team will pick a plane, they will attack most likely the side that threatens to overwhelm them. Yeah. And I just sit here and I'm watching the sky. Now in arcade you get a countdown when somebody jumps into this so-called mini-event. And we have a candidate. 8 seconds until he spawns, and I look around. And oh, there is a Leopard. And he bounced. Okay, at this point, there we come to the important part. I relocated so the Leopard can't shoot me anymore. I'm ignoring the Focke-Wulf as it is just the fighter, but then I focus on the Mosquito and I wait until he comes relatively close. And then I open fire. I crit him and we destroy each other. So that shows you not just the capabilities of the Gepard against planes, but also how vulnerable it is. And that's basically this scene. So, and the next sequence is basically a complete arcade battle, which is action-packed and shows you everything that you have to know about how to play AAA as a true AAA vehicle. And also, let's talk a little bit about the problems of driving AAAs, especially in arcade. The same arguments count also for realistic. Now, first of all, I try to go into a frontline near position, and this side of Berlin, together with the other side of Berlin, offers this nice ridgeline, this gravel and dirt hill that covers me from direct fire, but I'm actually relatively close to the cap circles, which are the points of interest, as usually when the enemy grabs a bomber or a fighter bomber with rockets, they usually go for frontline near tanks. So I have to be close to provide the most effective defensive firepower. The problem with taking out a AAA from the beginning in both arcade and realistic, as long as you don't use it as a tank destroyer, is that you have nothing to shoot at. You have to wait until the enemy actually kills a few of your tanks to get the points required to go into a mini event in arcade, or to destroy a few tanks of your side and then get destroyed and then pick a plane. So this is a problematic situation, and that brings me to the first problem. Usually AAA vehicles, at least in arcade with statistical value, I just looked it up, they have rather low win percentages. And this is strange because I actually provide my team with very good support. In my opinion, better support than I could do in a tank. Because I actually prevent them by dying from a sudden surprise attack from the air. At least that's the theory. The practice tells me something else. Generally speaking, when I am very good with my AAA vehicle, my team tends to lose. So let's have a look of how I actually deal with this guy. I marked him, I see the lead indicator, and I wait. Now he stretches out, and I kill him. Why did I do that? Well, first of all, if I would have opened fire at longer distances, I would have wasted ammunition. I would have probably not have killed him. He probably would have attacked me and eventually would have killed me, probably. It depends on if I would have killed him before that. And, at the end of his attack run, enemy players usually tend to stretch out, fly with a rather constant speed and a straight trajectory. So you can, predict better where they go, because they prepare to fire their rockets and do fine-tuning to their course. The same goes for realistic. If you just shoot wildly around, you make yourself a target, not just for enemy tanks, but also for enemy planes, and people know that you are there. A lot of people don't check if there are actually AAA vehicles on the enemy team. And in this special case of the Gepard, it also saves you ammunition. And take a look at the ammunition count. It just cost me like 32 shells to shoot down one aircraft. That's actually pretty good, let's be honest. And think about it. Those are the stock guns with their stock accuracy, with the stock ammunition belts. That's all. And again, I waited for the countdown, and when the countdown ends, the planes appear. Now again, I prioritize the Focke-Wulf in this case. Why is that? Well, the Tempest never carries rockets, and it's a Focke-Wulf A. The Focke-Wulf A is the one with the rockets. I wasted a little bit of ammunition here, but I killed him before he could release his rockets, so everything's fine. It would make no sense to shoot at the Tempest as he plays with another plane, so to speak. He killed the Focke-Wulf, unsurprisingly, and now I thought about, opening fire a little bit to let him know that I'm there. And he makes evasive actions. Now he stretches out, now is the time to fire, and you could see I needed not a lot of ammunition. And as you can see, my team is on the losing side. Yes, this is one battle, but it happens on such a regular basis that I call it, it's that one tank or those few tanks less that the one team featuring AAA vehicles does have on the front line, where they actually are needed. So while you support your team on one side of the tactic branch, so to speak, you're letting your team down on another side, and that is not good. So I just heard enemy AAA firing, and you can see it's a rather boring situation. I'm rather stationary. That's why I said that, you know, the mobility upgrades are not that important. You are not a main battle tank or any kind of tank that requires huge amount of, you know, mobility. So you can purely focus on upgrading, yeah, your guns. And there comes in a TU2. Now this is a proper bomber, and they feature a problem because they don't have to get really close to your tanks to inflict heavy damage, as they can drop the bombs depending on their speed and angle of attack from a longer distance. I killed him, but he released already his bombs, and he came from, so to speak, the other side. Now it seems like his bombs didn't find any targets, so lucky me. I was not responsible for my team to lose any tanks by letting an enemy bomber or fighter bomber succeed in its attack run. Now that was a ricochet. It almost killed me. If you watch it again, that ricochet came pretty close. And I see another one. It's a Focke-Wulf A, so it can carry rockets. He does a lot of evasive actions, but now he stretches out. And I eventually kill him by him ramming into the ground. I might have tripled the rudder, the elevator or something, so he couldn't bring his rockets on target. So you not just have to ultimately destroy the enemy aircraft to deny him the attack run. And again, the enemy provides us yet with another pair of planes. I'm ready. I still have a lot of ammunition in comparison. So this position is really optimal, and you will not find such a good position on every map. Usually you have to read the map where the enemy is going. That was a really nice kill. And you know, you have to stick a bit closer to them, but on Berlin this is really great. And this is another part. I love the visuals of this tank. I love the degree of details that the Gaijin designers came up on this vehicle. I have to say it again. Also, you know, when you're firing the heat blasts and everything, it looks so good. So, and also you can see the really good reverse gear, so that's definitely a plus for retreating in time. And the enemy have provided us yet with another pair of planes, a TU4 and a Focke-Wulf. And in this case, the Focke-Wulf will be a D-series in arcade, as you know, I know which planes are coming. I played with the thought of opening fire on the Focke-Wulf, but then changed my mind, and I will blast the TU2. So that was a kill assist. And then I blast the Focke-Wulf as it was about to attack the ZSU-57 from above. Now, while the ZSU-57 is much better at dealing with tanks, against planes it's not so good. It has just an 8-round belt, or clip rather, and then it has a rather long reload compared to, for example, all the clip-fed German AAAs such as the Coelian or the Ostwind. Therefore, they have a practically non-existent reload if you have a good crew, therefore. And even if you have a bad crew or you just have 2 crew members left, the reload is so short. It's really incredible how good German AAAs are. And yes, I think overall German AAAs are the best. They have good hitting guns, they have a lot of them, they have good shells. You can upgrade to the pure mean shell belts on the 37s, as far as I can remember. At least the Ostwind, the Flak truck and the Coelian have access to mean Geschoss belts, and they are really good compared to the normal HE belts. So That's just that. And you can see my team is heavily losing. The enemy team does have all 3 caps, and those planes were spotted by me too late. I can't reverse anymore as there was a tank behind me. So let's have a quick look at the post-battle result screens, and you will see where also the problem is. And we can see I got 8 plane kills and 1 assist. That's a lot even for arcade. Just 30,000 silver lines and 2,324 research points. Yes, it's on a loss, but still with the premium account. I was first in team with 2,062 score points, so I was first in team. I did my job. Sadly, my team let me down. So that's that. And you can see, yeah, I also got a Warbond mission, so that's really nice if you have such a good AAA vehicle. Yeah, that's this for this video. I hope you enjoyed the tank review and also the guide part with the gameplay. Let me know in the comment section what you think. I'm sorry that I couldn't provide you with realistic battle footage, but I simply didn't have the time. As I also have to tell you that I will drop the daily content and maybe just upload every 2 to 3 days from now on. Hopefully the video quality will be improved by that. And that's it for today. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, let me know if it helped you, and see you on the battlefields of War Thunder.